So, Christmas is upon us yet again, but this year is not just Christmas, it is the 25th year that I've been playing video games. Since way back in 1991 when I got my Nintendo Entertainment System. So I did my series 5 years ago about my 20 years in gaming, summarizing the whole thing. But now that it's been 25 years, I thought I'd like to go over what's been going on in the last 5 years of my gaming life. When I did the series back in 2011, I had just gotten a real job, basically. And I had that job for up until very recently. So I've spent these 5 years being able to have more money left over to buy games. I bought games before too, but then it was a lot more strained budget. So that's led me to start a gaming collection, as you've seen in previous videos, with Famicom, Super Famicom, Game Boy games. I bought more Virtual Boy games. I have plenty of CDI games now. And it's been fun. Basically, I picked the Japanese ones just because it started because they were cheaper to buy on Swedish eBay, I call it, which has a different name. This guy started selling Famicom games and Super Famicom games, and there were games like Super Mario World, and it would cost like a couple of dollars or a couple of euros or something, just because in Japan those are really cheap too. The big name games, a lot of them are very cheap because they're common, whereas here in Europe, Sweden for me, I can't buy Super Mario World for less than 150, 200 crowns or something, which is I'll put the conversion rates up here, but it's never cheap. It never, even though it's common, it's never cheap. But the Japanese versions allowed me to buy a lot more, and then I just started to get the feel for it. And collecting is fun, although I still don't. I only occasionally get boxed games. But anyway, collecting is a new facet of my gaming life. Another big development that has affected my gaming is that I've now recommitted myself to learning Japanese, which I started way back in 2006, but then I quit almost in 2006 or early 2007 or something, so I didn't really learn that much. But then now it was Christmas actually, 2013, I started relearning Japanese, and serious this time. So now I've done that for 3 years. And now I still can't, just pop in any Japanese game and understand completely, but I can get an understanding still of what's going on better than I did before. I was at a friend's house recently. We played Gargoyle's Quest 2 or Red Aremer 2, and it's an action game, but it has this RPG type sections, and I could, for the most part, read the text and understand where we were supposed to go. Of course, having a Japanese dictionary on hand is always good, because there was one part where I had this whole sentence and I understood every word except the one word that would unlock the whole sentence. So I had to look that up, but then we found out what we were supposed to do. So learning Japanese is a ticket for me to a lot more games, because there are so many Japanese-only games that are mysteries, and regular games in general, but also, of course, RPGs, which is basically my main goal, I would say, because I've lost a lot of interest in RPGs, but over the years, since Final Fantasy dropped off for me. But learning Japanese I would get into it again, I think. Yeah, that's a big thing. Also, I'm going to move to Japan. I was going to move to Japan, but then I got testicular cancer. But once that's out of the way, I will move to Japan, and then I will buy all sorts of games and learn even more. And when I come back, maybe even more will be available to me. I mentioned this slightly in the last series, but now I can say that I haven't just been playing these and liking them, but I have a new favorite series of video games, Yakuza. I've liked all of the games. The two PSP games weren't as great as the other ones, but they still were good. and it has become a series where I look forward to every new installment. Although I see a little Resident Evil 5 on the horizon, possibly because Yakuza 6 is supposed to be it's the last chapter in the Kiryu story anyway. But since the game is called Song of Life, I think they're gonna kill him. And it's like, it has the same kind of effect on me maybe as when I found out that Resident Evil 5 killed off Wesker. It's like, the thing I like the most about the series, and then it's gone. But after 10 plus games, I understand that they have to move on, and it'll be interesting to see what they do after. But Yakuza 6, I'm definitely, and it's coming out in English, and Yakuza 0 is in English coming out soon, and Kiwami even, that was a surprise, is coming out in English. So Yakuza is a great series. I recommend anyone play it, and it's become one of my favorites. I could see the trend back in 2011, but it's continued that I don't really play too many new games. I do focus a lot on retro. I would say 80% of my gaming is retro. And of course by retro by now I sort of mean PlayStation 2 and back. Even though that's technically not retro, I couldn't say it's new either. But on the other hand, I haven't quit entirely. I mean, I do have a PlayStation 4 now with 5 games, and I plan to get 4 or 5 more. All the 3 Yakuza games, GTA 6, which will come eventually, and the Final Fantasy 7 remake. Yeah, because even though I dropped off Final Fantasy a bit, and I would like active time battle again. I would actually more like the turn-based style than the real-time Kingdom Hearts-y style, but I have to play Final Fantasy 7 remake. It's just no question. Basically, any new GTA, Mario or Zelda games or Yakuza are a guaranteed purchase. And I can't really say that I don't play new games. It's just that I don't run out to release date a lot, because there's not a lot of new announcements that I go like, yes, this is I'm gonna have this. It's more like, yeah, okay, maybe I'll pick it up later. South Park, the Fractured Butthole, that is also one I'm gonna get. I feel more excitement of discovering an old game than waiting for a new game. And I've just accepted that's just me now. In these 5 years, I have obliterated my record of beating hard games, I would say. I've gotten a lot better. Because now I've beaten Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2 and 3, but 3 is easier on Famicom, but I have beaten the Ninja Gaiden trilogy. And I've beaten Contra, and Super C, and Street Fighter 2010. So I'm getting there. I'm almost, where it comes to retro, I don't really feel comfortable doing it, but I sort of want to call myself a hardcore gamer now. It's pretty cool. And I still have a lot to thank to Game Center CX for teaching me the value of perseverance, basically. Since 2011, my old series, I made a point of saying that I would want to go back to play some games that I missed earlier, and I have gone back to do a few, not a whole lot, but I have played Silent Hill 1 and 2 now, and Silent Hill actually did have a really good story. I played it and I was like, alright, this is just, I mean, gameplay and it's kind of meh, you have nowhere to go, and I get sort of annoyed about games like that. But as the story went on, and then when it got to the end, I was like, okay, I get it now. I get why this is regarded as one of the best games and one of the best storylines in games, because I got it at the end, and it was worth it. Another game that was sort of like that was Spec Ops: The Line, even though that's not an old game that I've skipped for a long time, but it still was one of those that I played it maybe 4 years after it came out or something. And all the critics were totally 100% right about the storyline, because it's amazing. I just like sort of Silent Hill 2 and Spec Ops: The Line are both great in sort of the same way, because you start out and it's one thing, but as it goes on it gets better and better, more and more interesting, and then at the end you get it. It's all worth it. Even if you didn't like the gameplay, I did like the gameplay in Spec Ops, but even if you thought it was boring or something, you get to the end and it's like, I get it. Yeah, this is good. Yeah. Another one I've picked up on was BioShock, which was good. I think I was too late to the party to think it was that amazing, but it was good, and everyone apparently complains about the ending, and I'm not entirely sure why. It was fun looking at the logs and finding out what's happened in this place and that kind of stuff. I played Dead Space, but was that during these 5 years? I don't quite remember, but that was all okay. I didn't find it that amazing. But there were still tons more that I would want to go back to. So, with 25 years now done, do I think there will be 30? Indeed. There are still a ton of games that I've missed that I want to pick up on, discover. With learning Japanese, there's a whole other world opening up, and there's still a lot of hard games that I want to beat. And at some point, I think I will have to try Dark Souls. Basically, it's one of those games that because I usually react with when everyone's ranting and raving about how great something is. I just kind of go like, whatever. But yeah, eventually maybe I'll have to try it. I'm still like in 2011. My main opinion is that still I will continue to play video games as long as I think it's fun and as long as the circumstances allow it. I mean, if I have to amputate my arms, then I'll probably have to quit. Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say than that. Viva la gaming, and my YouTube channel will keep going even though I get 20-30 views per video. I still feel like doing it, so I will still do it. Yeah, 25 years.